It's Wednesday night, and you know what that means. It's time to meet Mr. Mayhem. Welcome to Wednesday Night Mayhem, live on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Google MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio and Michael Bullock, and we are going to dive right on in. We started it off with a 6-woman tag. Toxic Attraction, Gigi Dolan, JC Jane, the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions, and the NXT Women's Champion of the World, Mandy Rose. They went up against Io Shirai, Casey Catanzaro, and Kaden Carter. When it was all said and done, the heel team, Toxic Attraction, wins the match, 12 minutes and 50 seconds. This was a solid opener. I think we all were kind of like, I don't know, maybe, is this really going to deliver? We had our doubts about the match. And guys, I can openly admit, this was one of the top fights of the night. This really stood out, and it was amazing how this match opened up. Great battle by all the women. Yes, a Toxic Attraction does get the big win here, which is, in a way, no big surprise. You want to keep them red hot. They are amazing right now, and they're the hottest thing right now on NXT. But you could see that why Io Shirai is definitely a contender for the women's title. You can see why Casey Catanzaro and Kaden Carter are also contenders for the women's tag team titles. So this is going to be very interesting to see how they continue the story. But right now, if you're scoring at home, 1 point for Toxic Attraction, Anthony Florio. This was easily a 3-star match to jump off NXT 2.0.
Did you get the time for that?
12 minutes and 12 minutes and 50 seconds.
Okay. I told Michael Bullock this during our Raw chat the other night, and I'm going to tell this to you, MF. In my honest opinion, Toxic Attraction is the best thing going on NXT 2.0 right now. Period. And a statement and a quotation on that. As far as this is concerned, 3.25 to 3.5 stars is my rating for this. This started slow, but the action picked up down the stretch. It is a classic tag team formula, though it works well for about mostly starring developing talent. Outside of Io Shirai and Mandy Rose, it was clear that the wrestlers here are still finding their stride. The ultimate goal was to protect Toxic Attraction. They have gained control of NXT and need wins to keep it. Io Shirai will be without Zoe Stark for a while, and she will need to find the people who can help her in this numbers game if she wants to get to the NXT Women's Champion. The story is only beginning. The women's division will continue to be NXT's highlight with Mandy Rose and Io Shirai at its head. So 3.25 to 3.5 stars. Nothing more to say. Bullock, I said it to you the other night during our Raw chat, and I'm never going to get tired of saying it. Toxic Attraction, hands down, the best thing going on NXT 2.0, even though it is a meh show nowadays.
And they are the best thing. And you know what? You better say that, because if they hear you say they're not the best thing, well, let's just say, I mean, they might not be happy about it. Especially Gigi Dolan, because I'll admit this, guys, and I don't know how you feel about it. She's crazier than a pet coon. Can we concur on that?
Yeah, but here's the problem, Bullock. I kind of dig the crazy chicks. Just saying.
Oh no. I agree with you, but
no, there's a Florio knows where I'm going with that line.
Oh, you have a thing for her, right?
Florio will concur on what I mean. I'm not going there. I'm leaving that. Leaving it alone. I think I might have I might have overstepped my balance here.
No, don't worry about it, Fletch. I mean, I'll just take your word for it. I'll just take yours and Florio's word for it. But anywho, 3.25 stars is my rating for this match. I mean, Toxic Attraction is showing the world that they rule NXT right now, and anybody was hoping for a championship committee moment from either Casey Canizaro and Caden Carter or Io Shirai, well, they just got dealt a cold, hard dose of reality because nope, you didn't succeed against them. So, as the old saying goes, it's back to the back of the line, you two, or should I say you three, and it's time for someone else to get a opportunity at them if they so dare. So that's really nothing more there's really nothing more I can say on it. So 3.25 stars. Fletch, let's move on.
Yeah, so we're just gonna dive right into the next match of the evening. Um, Now this was Kaylee Ray going up against Saray, and Kaylee Ray wins the match in 4 minutes and 51 seconds. Anthony, this is definitely a style of contrast. The Euro British bruising style of Kaylee freaking Ray. And then you got Saray, who's an amazing Japanese style that you could say a little bit of Asuka, a little bit of that high flying style. You had two clashes, and it ended up being a fun little sprint.
Well, I'll tell you guys, I mean, this never got enough time to feel like more than a sequence of moves. Kaylee Ray and Saray are both talented women who have far more to give. However, this was always going to be about Kaylee Ray, no matter how much offense the Warrior of the Sun got. While Ray teased going after Mandy Rose, it is the wrong time for her as a heel to fight a heel champion. With some time and build, Kaylee Ray could play the tweener who can dethrone the NXT Women's Champion. So, a fun little sprint, you could say. Probably about 2 to 2.25 stars for the effort. So, the Scary Queen of Scots picks up a big win. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, onward and upwards for the Scary Queen of Scots.
Oh yeah, and Saray is no slouch here, and the Scary Queen of Scots definitely made Saray look like an enhancement talent with the way she dominated her. But it was a fun little sprint. I'll give it about 1.5 stars for my rate, 1.5 to 2, I would say. So nothing more to say. Let's give it to Fletch here. So Fletch, I give it to you.
Yeah, no, this was a solid. Again, I openly will admit it. This was a solid match. I really thought, when Saray and Kaylee Ray was gonna go at it, in the back of my head, I'm like, man, this could be one hell of a fight. I mean, I love Saray's style. Kaylee Ray, I know from ICW, and she was, just like Doudrop, aka Piper Niven. She was without a doubt one of the biggest standouts in ICW. She was one of the standouts of that company. And before she went into NXT UK, she was one of the faces of that women's division. There was no doubt about it. You were in for the fight of your life with Kaylee freaking Ray, and she was amazing. And to see her debut on NXT in the US not too long ago, I got amped. I got pumped. Now, a couple of guys are like, oh, what's the deal with Kaylee Ray? Who cares? She's not that great. I almost cerebral vipered an entire Discord chat room, ripping them to shreds, saying how idiotic and stupid they were sounding when they were talking about when they basically dismissed Kaylee Ray. So it was one of those that if Bullock or Florio would have said that, oh my God, you guys would have been dead. I would have ended both views. RKO's
I would not survive.
RKO's would have been coming for both views. But you guys know enough of Kaylee Ray, so that's why. But next up on the show, I hate to do it, but we do got some cutouts, guys. Joe Gacy versus Boa. Joe Gacy wins the match via disqualification in 3 minutes and 22 seconds. After that, then we had the Creed brothers, and they went up against Jacket Time, Kushida, and Jono. And when it was all said and done, the Creed brothers wins the match in 4 minutes and 21 seconds of TV time. Would you guys want to talk about it, or do you want to move on with this?
Jacket Time is a waste for Kushida. Enough said. Move on.
Okay. Then after that, we had Cameron Grimes versus Ru Feng. Cameron Grimes wins in 1:46. Nothing there. All right, we should get into this. Solo, LA Knight, and Grayson Waller in a triple threat, and Solo wins the match in an even 5 minutes. All right, Michael Bullock, would you like to talk about it? It would be yours if you do.
Yeah, I'll give this probably about another 1.5 to 2. I mean, it was a fine match in the short amount of time it did get, but yeah, I mean, Solo was definitely very impressive here, and something I'm definitely gonna have my eyes on here. But yeah, so there's really nothing more to add to it. So Fletch, I guess you can say it was an impressive first match for the newcomer.
Impressive, yes. I think everybody did all right with this. This was about a 2-star match. Anthony, it's yours.
Depends on how much time it got. How much time did this get?
He just said 5 minutes.
5 minutes. Yeah. That would be about right. I'm gonna bump it up a little bit. I'm gonna give it 2.5. This was nonstop action in which all three men shined. In particular, Sikoa seemed unstoppable. He clearly has the talent to make a major impact for as long as he is in NXT 2.0. LA Knight took the pin, which is a minor win in the rivalry for Grayson Waller. However, he needs to be able to actually defeat the $1 million megastar in order to take the next step forward. Otherwise, he'll remain as the entertaining low carder. 2.5, move on.
With that said, we go right into the last match of the evening, the main event. I just want to see if there was anything else of any relevance. Not really. Elektra Lopez against Erica Yan. Elektra Lopez wins in 1:24. We do get into the main event. Carmelo Hayes, 1-on-1 with Pete Dunne, winner of the bout. 12 minutes and 13 seconds. Pete Dunne wins the match. Uh-oh. Can we call it, gentlemen? Is it?
Could it be? Will it be? Yes, MF and JR. Championship committee moment.
Yes.
You saw it first.
Championship committee moment, no doubts, as it will be. Pete Dunne has now put himself in a position to now possibly be fighting for the North American Championship down the line. Carmelo Hayes and Pete Dunne in a 1-on-1. Woo! That's going to be really good. Yeah, for me, fight of the night. I got to call it. Fight of the night. 3.5 stars. Solid, close match to put an exclamation point on this night. Well done. Florio, it's yours.
I got to call Fight of the Night on this one, MF. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. You don't get much better than Carmelo Hayes and Pete Dunne in the modern NXT. This was two talented wrestlers going all out. It was one of the best matches the updated brand has pulled off and the most NXT match the company has put on in a while. Given the result, this should not be the last time these two fight. Give it more time and story, and these two could steal the show at any event. However, it felt unnecessary to give Carmelo Hayes a loss this soon just to set up another challenger. It was classic WWE booking with multiple distractions getting in the way of the two men hitting their top gear. It is probably for the best if Carmelo Hayes versus Pete Dunne for the North American Championship is going to be saved for the future. So not much more to say on that. This was the fight of the night for me. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. Michael Bullock, if these two could put on a very entertaining non-title match, imagine the kind of match they'll have with the title on the line.
Oh, the rating for this match could be higher if the title was definitely on the line. But anywho, this was the fight of the night. 3.5 stars. I agree with everything you guys just said. So let's just move on, Fletch. And I think it's overall thoughts.
I got it.
And it starts with Anthony Florio.
Yep, I'm on it. I got to give this in excess of 5 to 5.5. This was another meh show as usual, but there were some standout moments. I mean, the main event was the fight of the night, no question about that. Very close second was that opening 6-woman tag with Toxic Attraction and Canton Zero and Carter and Shirai. I mean, those were the two best fights of the night. Throw in a solid 3-way match with Sikoa there, winning that. But other than that, you know, this show, I mean, the show's still a mess. It really, really is. I mean, it's hands down. I mean, I hate to say it, but this is truly the C show now. It is the C show. Whereas, you know, Raw and SmackDown are doing some things, and especially Monday Night Raw, with how out of nowhere we've come over the last couple of weeks, the last few weeks. I mean, and especially the Providence show we had about 9 days ago or so. So, but yeah, I mean, as long as Mr. McDinkleberg and his and Blubber Love and his Bucktooth Beaver buddy are still running things, NXT's in a lot of trouble. However, yes. And this coming from Mr. NXT himself, Michael Bullock, in our chat saying the F show, as far as he's concerned, for failure. And I know Bullock's going to address that when we get to him in just a moment. But there may be some help on the way, gentlemen, because it was announced during last night's show that on Sunday night, December the 5th, they may not be calling it an NXT takeover, but still, it is, in the immortal words of Mr. Regal, War Games. Hopefully, that's the shot in the arm that this brand so desperately needs right now. Because ever since this 2.0 thing started, with the exception of the first show, which, you know, we gave it a pass because it was the first show, and also with the exception of Halloween Havoc was far and away the best show they've done since this whole thing started. But other than that, every show, snooze. With the only like I said, the only bright spot on there is Toxic Attraction. That's all there is to say on that. So, yeah, and these ridiculously over the top characters. I mean, a lot of these characters have really, really, you know, every time I see them, click. Simple as that. Guys like Joe Gacy, guys like friggin' and what is this Duke Hudson stuff? Hello, I've seen this before. This is gimmick infringement. I'm calling gimmick infringement because this is their version of Swingers Palace from Impact Wrestling, for God's sakes. I could tell you all about that nonsense. I don't know what's worse, that or Swingers Palace. Both were awfully bad. But Jesus, man. But This whole Duke Hudson thing with this whole poker gambler thing, it's a ripoff of Impact Wrestling and the Swingers Palace. I was talking about Gacy. You're ruining Kushida right now. Kushida, one of the best Japanese wrestlers in the world, and you're putting him with Jiro, and you're calling this thing Jacket Time, and you're having him dressed like a damn goof. Waste of talent right there. You're wasting Kushida's talent. Who else? But the one, I mean, as annoying as all those guys are, there's one that's really rubbing me the wrong way right now. The one that's been really pushing my buttons, and every time I see him, automatic clickbait. Andre Chase. What the hell is that nonsense? Get the you-know-what out of here with that bleep. So, I don't know, man. I mean, it's like Monday Night Raw in the 90s, right around the time of the Monday Night Wars, because, they had those ridiculously over-the-top cartoon-like characters, and they've taken it to a whole new level here. These characters make friggin' Man Mountain Rock and Mantar look like entertaining characters, for goodness sakes. Where are those guys? I'd rather have those guys around than anything else. But nonetheless, mini rant over. I don't want to waste too much time here because we got something more exciting on the pipeline in a moment. But nonetheless, 5.5 out of 10. Nothing more to say. Bullock, you better hope and pray that War Games ends up delivering, because if it doesn't, man, NXT is only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. Squash matches galore. Ridiculously, I mean, all these friggin' cutouts. But what really does it for
me...
And
I'll tell you this, Florio. And I'll tell you this, Florio.
Characters, man. Over the top
characters. And I'll tell you this, Florio. I mean, I told you I feared this when we first saw this new version of NXT. I feared this was going to be something bad, and I was right on it. I mean, I was willing to give it a chance, but I should have listened to what my gut was telling me. So this NXT right now is a freaking joke. I'm sorry.
All right, man.
It is a freaking joke. This is what happens when you got Vince McDinkleberg, Blubber Love, and his Bucktooth Beaver buddy. When you got them running the show, you expect this kind of crap. I mean, Triple H, when he ran this damn show, I mean, it was golden. But now it's complete and utter trash. That's what it was. It was complete and utter trash. 5 out of 10. I'm with you on this one. And I'm going to say this right now. And you can mark me down on this, guys. So, Florio, Fletch, mark me down on this one. Because I'm about to say something that you're not going to believe what I'm about to say. If War Games turns out to be a complete and utter failure, I am freaking done with NXT. I'm saying it right now. I'm not joking around. I'm done with this, because when is enough enough?
The thing is, I'm going to openly admit this. Halloween Havoc was actually pretty good. I think we all can agree with that. Halloween Havoc was actually a success.
Fantastic show.
It was.
It was. Show.
I feel like if you, and this is why I'm really more confident about the special shows than I am about the regular NXTs. If you want to boycott the regular NXTs, by all means, I feel like you're absolutely right. NXT has not delivered in the way that it used to be. But I actually got more faith when they do these network specials than I do about the regular shows. Because takeovers were always the best things for NXT. And I kind of feel like they're going in that direction that this is developmental. This is no longer a third major brand of NXT, and that is what is being done. So, do I think that it's the right thing to do? No, absolutely not. I think with Triple H, Shawn, Road Dogg, what they were putting was absolute gold on NXT because they were trying to make it as an equal to a Raw, to a SmackDown. They wanted that third brand to be powerful enough that they would be, that they could compete with the level of a Raw and SmackDown roster. Now, that maybe alienated quite a few guys on the main roster when people start saying, oh, NXT is better than SmackDown. NXT is better than Raw. There might have been some hurt feelings up top from the WWE, from the main roster guys, seeing how NXT was wiping the floor with them on pay-per-views. That's why this is happening. It's not because of that McMahon and everything. No, it's because of the fact that for a number of years, when Triple H was running that company, that they were running it better than WWE itself. And there was some hurt feelings across the room, not just by management, but even the wrestlers themselves were all freaking butthurt. And that's why you're seeing what's happening now with NXT. This is their way of punishing NXT for the years of kicking the daylights out of WWE. Because let's be realistic, for a while they were better than Monday Night Raw, and I'll admit it, there was some moments where they were better than SmackDown. So that's why this is happening now. But they gave us a good Halloween Havoc, and I do believe they will deliver with War Games. I'm very optimistic about War Games being a success for NXT. So that's what I'll say. It's 5 out of 10. I'll openly admit it. But honestly, for what we saw with NXT, it wasn't as bad as other episodes. As a matter of fact, I'll even say it. This episode is actually a step up from where we are with NXT 2.0. That doesn't mean much. That doesn't mean a lot of things. But I will openly admit, I thought they did a decent job with it. Now, do they still got a long way to go? Absolutely. Do they still got to work on a few things? Absolutely. But I'm not going to be as harsh, or I'm not going to bury it like you two guys are. I actually felt like this was actually a decent 2-hour plus show last night. Minus, yes, there was the Joe Gacy thing, all that other stuff, and I'm not a big fan of him, and I'll give you that. But to be real honest with you, I thought they did all right. I thought it was a decent, an okay show. My thoughts and my thoughts alone. All right, guys. So, with that said, it's time for AEW Dynamite, and we will jump it off with the first fight of the evening, as it was the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson, going one-on-one with Rocky Romero. And when it was all said and done, Bryan Danielson wins the match in 10 minutes and 40 seconds, or 10 minutes and 55 seconds. Solid match. Good battle. Good wrestling matchup. I really enjoyed it. I liked what I saw, and I really got nothing more to add. So I thought they did a really good job. So this was easily 3 stars, maybe 3.25. I got nothing more to say. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah, 3 to 3.25 stars. Anyone who questioned Bryan Danielson's ability to once again be the best wrestler in the world has almost certainly been silenced by now. What he is doing in AEW against the wide range of talent that he is nothing short of extraordinary. His match with Rocky Romero was based more on technical wrestling than the strikes and dramatic near falls that have dominated other bouts, and it stood out as a result. Would it have been nice to see more sustained offense from either man? Sure. But the back and forth nature of the match gave the impression that Romero was Danielson's equal, even if the outcome was never in question. Bryan's match with Miro is going to be one of the best matches of the year, but that isn't really an impactful statement given how superb the former has been every time he has set foot inside the squared circle in 2021. Not just in AEW, but in WWE as well, here in 2021. So there isn't much more to say on this. 3 to 3.25 stars, absolutely spot on with this. So Michael Bullock, this is a first time thing for you. This is the second one for me because I've only seen Rocky Romero wrestle once. He challenged Trey Miguel for the X Division Championship recently on Impact Wrestling. MF knows him very well because you know how he is with Japan. But Rocky Romero, you got to see him wrestle for the first time against our former Yes Man. How do you do?
I think he did really well. I mean, but that's what happens when when you're working with someone like Bryan Danielson, and he made him look really good even in defeat. So three and a quarter. I'll give it 3.25 to 3.5 stars is my rating on this. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on.
All right. Next up on the fight card, we had 6 women tag. Dr. Britt Baker, Jamie Hayter, and Rebel versus Ty Conte, Thunder Rosa, and Anna Jay. And it was Ty Conte, Thunder Rosa, and Anna Jay winning 6 minutes and 55 seconds. Anthony, it's yours.
2 3/4, teetering on 3 for this. As usual, the majority of the match took place in the picture-in-picture commercial break, but these 6 women still put together a damn fun tag team match. Jamie Hayter and Thunder Rosa did enough to shine a light on a feud that will culminate in the next round of the TBS Women's Championship Tournament. Anna Jay was solid when Anna Jay sold when necessary before unloading her own arsenal late, but it was the interaction between Ty Conti and Britt Baker that really stood out. First, the champion only entered the ring when an opponent was weakened or prone. Second, when she had the opportunity to spare her team's defeat, she dropped off the apron and decided to flee rather than confronting Conti. Excalibur suggested Baker is afraid of Conti. While the champion may not be in any real danger of dropping her title, it was a great way of giving viewers the impression that her women's title is in jeopardy come Saturday night in Minneapolis. This was a hit. It's just a shame more of it wasn't seen in full focus. 2 3/4, teetering on 3 stars. So, not much more to say. Michael Bullock, you heard what Excalibur said. He thinks that the champion is afraid of her challenger. You agree with that?
You could probably say that, but here's another thing, Florio. And I think you're going to agree when it comes to the reference of one of your favorite guys, and it's Jesse the Body Ventura. If it were Jesse the Body Ventura, she'd say she's not afraid of her. She's just doesn't want to take any chances of brawling with her and maybe getting hurt. So I think she did the smart thing and decided to wait until Saturday night. So that's I mean, you could see it from both ways. So 2 3/4 is the perfect rating here for this match, and I think because of what happened here tonight, if they go with the booking 101, I think this all but assures that Dr. Britt Baker is gonna remain your AEW Women's World Champion. So Fletch, it's yours.
No doubt about it. This was about 2 3/4. I thought it was a solid match. I thought it was a good battle. I liked the body of work of everybody involved. I think it could have been a little more better, but it is what it is. We do have the outcome. Dr. Britt Baker does win the match. I think Britt Baker is the favorite going in. If you would have told me about a few months ago if it would have been Britt or if it would have been Ty, I would have been all Ty content. I think everybody knows how much she means to me, and seeing what she has done. Um, she is by far one of the most overed women in AEW today, but I kind of have a bad feeling that Ty's not going to win the belt, not this time around. It's a heartbreaker because if you remember, she was in contention about a year or so ago, or less than a year ago, where she was fighting for the title against Hikaru Shida. And that night, a lot of people thought Hikaru should have dropped the belt to Ty. But some people were like, no, it's too soon. Ty still's got to learn the ropes, this and that, blah, 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 blah. Now, unfortunately, I don't think Ty's getting the belt now because Britt is way too hot, way too good, and I kind of feel like they want to make her the face of the women's division right now. Um, to be real honest with you, I honestly believe that the one person who might have a legit shot would be Thunder Rosa. I think Thunder Rosa might be the possibly the one that might end up knocking off Britt to win the title. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It remains to be seen, to be real honest with you guys. So nothing more to add. So Anthony, did you oh, you let off on this. I'm sorry. So next up, guys, we got Jungle Boy going one-on-one with Anthony Bowens. Jungle Boy wins the match in 10 minutes and 5 seconds. Michael Bullock, it's yours.
Yeah, I mean, I thought this was another solid match here. I'll give it about maybe maybe 3 1/4 for this match. I mean, you want to give Jungle Boy some momentum going into this in that 6-man encounter. Falls count anywhere against the super click, but after the match, Bobby Fish comes out and basically lays waste to Jungle Boy, and yeah, and if you notice backstage when the Super Click did their little segment, Adam Cole was the one who introduced Bobby Fish. I don't know about you guys, but I think Bobby Fish could be the newest member of the Super Click. I mean, especially since he's got ties to one Adam Cole going back to the days of NXT. So, and of course, Friday night on Rampage, Jungle Boy's going to have a chance to get some payback on Bobby Fish. So we'll see how that goes. So there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, I don't know about you, but I think Bobby Fish is. I think he's a member of the Super Click, or if not, I think he's in cahoots in them. What says you?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he is in cahoots. I mean, remember, this was a guy, a member of. I mean, you're talking about a guy who was a member of one of the greatest stables in NXT history, Undisputed Era. I mean, you know the four: Roderick Strong, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Adam Cole. Now, if you really wanted to stir the hornet's nest, if you really wanted it to start the problem, who knows? I'll tell you one thing. Could Adam Cole be using Bobby Fish as a crutch, knowing what he knows? Maybe he is. Maybe he's using him for the super clip to make it more stronger, more whatever you want to say. I don't know. I know one thing for sure. Bobby Fish, you just made a major enemy with one Jungle Boy, and the thing is, Jungle Boy is without a doubt one of the best wrestlers in AEW today. And anybody who can say it, he is one of the heart and souls of this company. So nothing more to say. I mean, this was a solid match. This was about I'll say another solid 3-star fight. Anthony, it's yours.
And this Friday night on Rampage, Bobby Fish and Jungle Boy are going to go one-on-one.
Yes.
So let's keep an eye on that. And Bullock is right. I mean, and I'll tell you what, when I saw Bobby Fish and Adam Cole together like that, I'll be honest, I was marking because I was like, oh my God, Undisputed Era. I was going nuts. And, well, you never know. I mean, it would be something if they got together. If they had that, I mean, we got to see that. We were wondering when Bobby Fish came around, Bullock and I were thinking maybe there's a chance they reunite as part of the Undisputed Era. And guess what? A little mini reunion. It wasn't a full-fledged reunion, but it was a mini reunion nonetheless. So it was awesome. So, but as far as this match is concerned, I got to give this another 3 to 3.25 stars. Anthony Bowens is a star. This is the second time in less than a week that he had a hell of a match on AEW TV. The other, of course, last Friday's Rampage against Bryan Danielson. And he rose to the occasion each time. He was superb, really opening eyes to what he is capable of as a singles competitor. It'll be interesting to see if his performances against Danielson and Jungle Boy earn him more opportunities to compete solo, or just how long it will be until Max Caster joins him in their quest to conquer the tag team division. As for Jungle Boy, he continues to prove why he is one of the pillars of the company. He is extraordinary for his age and is going to be having matches like this on AEW television for a long damn time. The attack by Bobby Fish was a nice twist given his history with the heels involved in Saturday's match. And as we found out shortly after the match in a backstage promo with Cole and the Bucks, set up a Rampage battle with Jungle Boy in the process. And I got a feeling that's probably gonna steal the show Friday night. So there isn't really much more to say here. Another 3 to 3.25 star match for this. So I believe Bullock started it. So back to MF.
Yes, indeed. And we will indeed move right on along. Unfortunately, a very rare moment for AEW, but we actually had ourselves a cutout, y'all. Wardlow going one-on-one with Wheeler Yuta. Wardlow wins the match in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Yeah, unfortunately, really, we can't talk about anything about that match. But we will talk about this one. Dante Martin and Leo Rush going up against Matt Sydal and Lee Morrissey. And it was Dante Martin and Leo Rush winning the match 10 minutes and 30 seconds. Solid tag team match. I think we didn't expect it to be as good as it was, and it actually delivered. So for me, great outcome, great, good, solid tag team action. 3 stars for me. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
I think you underscored it a bit, MF. I'm actually going to call this the fight of the night. I'm giving this 3.5 stars. What a match. The simplest backstory gave way to a jaw-dropping match full of innovative offense, high-flying arsenals, and breakout performances from Leo Rush and Lee Moriarty. Diehard fans knew how talented those two were before this match was even a twinkle in Tony Khan's eye. Those tuning in exclusively to AEW now know too, thanks to superb showings from both men. Dante Martin has been superb over the last 3 months, and Matt Sydal has a long history of being ridiculously good. Add a driven Leo Rush and star of the future, Lee Moriarty, and the result was a hell of a tag match that should earn all involved more television time moving forward, and justifiably so. Fight of the night for me, 3.5 stars. Nothing more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3.5 stars for me as well. I mean, I'm with you. I mean, what a match this was. I mean, I'm telling you, Dante Martin and Leo Rush definitely look like a well-oiled machine here. And and who knows if they continue down this road, maybe they could contend for the tag titles somewhere down the line. I'm not saying right now, but maybe somewhere in the future. So yeah, so there's really nothing more to say. So let's move on, Fletch.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We do indeed move on. Next up, we do have on the fight card. We had was Dax Harwood versus Pock. Pock wins the match in 14 minutes even. Anthony, it goes to you.
Well, I take that back. The last one was the second best fight of the night. This was the fight of the night. 3 3/4 to 4 stars. Wow, what a match. Two incredible talents going at it. You know, two former mainstays in NXT, as we all know. I mean, these guys, you know, we know their history. We know what they were capable of there, and they delivered a very fun match with an even more fun post match. And this was a terrific match. The outcome never really felt in doubt, but the work was so good that it didn't matter. Cody entering through the crowd was comical, whether he's turning heel or not. Giving himself a special entrance, even in this situation, is the type of thing that makes fans resent him. But it was announced that at Full Gear, Cody and Pac are going to team up to take on Andrade El Idolo and Malachi Black. Very interesting here, because we know the history of Andrade El Idolo and Malachi Black. Let's not forget, NXT TakeOver New Orleans, April of 2018. Malachi Black took the NXT Championship from Andrade. So let's not lose sight of that. And here they are, 3.5 or so years later, and now all of a sudden they got this little alliance thing going here. Very interesting. So there isn't much more to say here. 3 3/4 to 4 stars. This was the fight. This was actually the fight of the night. The match before it was the second best. So not much more to say here. Michael Bullock, I mean, who would have thought? I mean, 3.5 years ago, these two guys were damn near killing each other for the NXT Championship, and now here they are as tag team partners with this little alliance thing going on. Andrade and Malachi Black. How about it?
I mean, yeah, I mean, who would have thunk that years later, after they literally killed each other for the NXT title, now here they are in AEW, and they're going to be partnering up to against Pac and Cody Rhodes. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens with that. So 3 3/4 to 4 stars. This was definitely the fight of the night, hands down. So yeah, there's nothing more to say. Fletch, it is yours.
Yeah, 3 3/4 to 4, no doubt about it. Absolutely incredible match to close it. Michael Bullock, I give it. Well, there was one other thing that they did: the contract signing to make it official between Adam Hangman Page, and Kenny Omega. Unbelievable way to close it. I don't think we really need to talk about that. That was segment of the night by default. Michael Bullock, give me your quick thoughts on the closing segment of the show, and then from there, let's do it. Let's talk about AEW. Let's talk about. Give me your final thoughts on this, and then we'll get into the preview for Full Gear.
Well, first off, when it comes to the segment, obviously I agree. This was the segment of the night, hands down. I mean, we expected this to be utter chaos. I mean, Kenny Omega, bad mouthing Hangman Page, basically saying, "Oh, he can win the big one, but Adam Hangman Page can't." And he was trying to, and Adam Hangman Page said, "This is something he is well worth. He's waited for." And then all of a sudden, somebody helps out with an attack on Hangman Page. And who was it, Florio? That no good, rotten SOB,
Your boy.
Don Callis. Yeah, right, Florio. Said nobody. I mean,
just having fun.
Busting him up, and Kenny Omega signing the contract with Hangman Page's blood. I mean, what a lowlife scum Don Callis is. But I'll say this. This all but assures that Adam Hangman Page is going to win the title on Saturday night. You can mark me down on it. Because if it doesn't happen, me and a lot of wrestling fans are not going to be happy with this. So, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say as far as the overall thoughts on the show. I'll give this about 7.5 to 8. I mean, this was a really good show. I mean, the only bad match, we only have one cutout. I mean, that's the only downside of the show. But other than that, I mean, everything else was solid to really good. So, and let's not forget another thing, guys. CM Punk and Eddie Kingston brawled back. I mean, they tried to get at it in the parking lot, and it took a lot of superstars to try to stop them. And Florio, I don't know if you noticed, but a certain someone that you admire was trying to hold Eddie Kingston back.
Ruby Soho.
Yeah, and part of me is like, what's she doing out there? I mean, I know she's tough, but
she's a tough ass girl, man.
I know she's tough.
She ain't afraid to get involved with the men. She ain't afraid.
I know she's tough, but you want to try to hold back a maniac like Eddie Kingston? That's something I would want no part of. So, but it's a good build, and I guess we could say it, guys. This has gotten personal between Punk and Kingston, and I cannot wait to see what happens with these two. So, there's really nothing more for me to say on all these. So, Fletch, I give it to you.
Solid, really good. Great closing segment, no doubt about it. Fight of the night, segment of the night. Great way to close the show. Incredible AEW show tonight. Like you said, Mike, one bad thing, solid 8.5 to 9 out of 10 for me. Anthony, your go, and then we'll get into Full Gear.
The segment was hella rushed thanks to time constraints, but Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page got their story over succinctly before the Don Callis reveal and the exclamation point of the bloody signature. The match Saturday night between Omega and Page has been building since very early in AEW's existence, and in many ways feels like the end of one era and the beginning of another. The wrestlers themselves are going to tear the house down in what feels like the most anticipated main event in quite some time. Assuming Hangman wins the title, as expected, it will mark the first time that an undisputed babyface has been the top dog in AEW. Yes, you can point to Jon Moxley as such, but he always had that edge that made him more of an anti-hero than a genuine babyface. It'll be interesting to see how the show progresses, how Tony Khan books, and if Hangman can live up to lofty expectations in that role coming out of Full Gear. Based on everything that we've seen and I've seen to this point, there's no reason to believe Hangman will not. Simple as that. So that was the segment of the night, and I'm very encouraged by how that ended, because I'm very encouraged about the match Saturday night now. And then from there, their overall, I think 8.5 to 9 might be a little bit of a reach, MF, but I'm gonna meet you guys in the middle. I'm gonna give this between 8.5, because this was an amazing show. This was a well done show. I mean, all right, WWE, take note. This is how you book a go home show. Take notes. This is how you book a go home show. Simple as that. even though we have one go-home show left, and that's Rampage on Friday night. So yeah, very well done. I mean, all the matches were solid to good to great, with the exception of that one match, the Wardlow squash, the delicious squash by Wardlow over Wheeler Yuta. But other than that, that's really all there is to say there. So 8.5 for me. So with that being said, MF, it's time to preview the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view.
All right, guys, we're going to try to go rapid fire here because I know you guys want to get on out of here at a reasonable hour. So let's start it off with that tag team match that Anthony was alluding to earlier. Pock and Cody Rhodes versus Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo. You know what? As much as I think it's going to happen, I think Cody's going to turn heel. He's going to betray Pac. I'm going to go with Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo to win this match. I don't know why. Even the thing is, does Cody really need another victory? Not really. Neither does Pac. I don't think they would be hurt by the loss. I think Malachi and Andrade really need to win this match on Saturday night, and I think they're going to get the job done. So give me Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo to win it. Anthony, it's yours.
Well, we don't have to really take time because tomorrow is a holiday and I am off. So
I got to work regardless.
Oh, okay. So all right, yeah, we'll try not to take too much time. Yeah, I don't have a formal preview of this match because it was just announced, but I am gonna go. I like that theory, MF. I'm gonna say Malachi Black and Andrade El Idolo steal it. Cody turns on Pac. I can definitely see that happening. So not much more to say. Give me the heels in this one, and Cody turns heel. So Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I'll go with Andrade El Idolo and Malachi Black here, and yes, I do see Cody turning heel in this. So there's nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Falls count anywhere, as it will be Christian Cage and Jurassic Express going up against the Super Click, the Young Bucks and Adam Cole. Florio, go.
Yeah. The Falls Count Anywhere stipulation helps elevate the significance and anticipation of the bout. We've seen the match before. We've seen fights involving multiple combinations of these wrestlers. Sticking the stipulation on the match, however, gives it a sense of finality that it may not have had otherwise. On the surface, it would look like Super Click is the easy choice to win, if only because Adam Cole losing in his first pay-per-view match in the promotion doesn't seem likely. Given that his team won the first match, though, this is the perfect time to stick a win on Jungle Boy. There's a whole week of television. Starting tonight, we have a whole week of television to put heat on the heels before giving the win to the baby faces. Given what's expected later, using this show as the night the Elite got to come up with a smart idea starts with this match. So I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go with the babyface team, Christian Cage and Jurassic Express, to what should be best. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, Falls Count Anywhere. Ooh, it's going to be fun.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be fun, but I'm actually going to disagree with you, Florio. I'm actually going to go with the Super Click, the Young Bucks, and Adam Cole, because, and you just brought it up. I mean, this is Adam Cole's first AEW pay-per-view, and to me, having him lose in his first AEW pay-per-view, to me, doesn't make any sense. So, I mean, I don't think the loss is going to hurt Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and Christian Cage, but to me, I think the Super Click wins, so there's really nothing more to say. Fletch, it comes down to the ultimate point. Do you agree with me, or do you agree with Florio? Because if you agree with me, I'm wolfing it, baby.
I'm sorry, Anthony. I got Super Click. I think it will be Adam Cole and the Young Bucks winning the match. They're gonna find a way. They always do. You know the Bucks are gonna cheat, or they're gonna steal this fight. This is not gonna be a clean victory. this is going to be one of those where we're going to start complaining, oh, the Super Click again, stealing yet another fight. This is going to be one of those where this is going to crawl up our skins, and there's really nothing more to add there. So next up, Mike, you lead off on this one. Eddie Kingston one-on-one with CM Punk. Boy, this has gotten personal within the last few weeks. That's finally going to get it on in Minnesota, in Minneapolis at the Target Center on Saturday night.
Yeah, this like I said, this has gotten personal, and especially when Eddie Kingston basically told CM Punk, after you use, why don't you go away for 7 years again? And you saw on that Rampage, that really pissed the you-know-what out of CM Punk. And yeah, I mean, I feel for whoever's going to referee this match because, and I'll say it right here, I mean, this is not going to be a wrestling match here. This is going to be a fight. I would be surprised if you see one wrestling hold out of these two. So I'm going to go with CM Punk to win this one. So, Fletch, as I give it to you, this ain't going to be no wrestling match here, boy.
This is going to be a straight up brawl. This is a fight. This is a be a man fight. This is my style. I'm going to go with CM Punk though. I think they're trying to build Punk as a major player in AEW. So no, I think Punk is going to win this match. Florio, it's yours.
What initially felt like a late addition to the card solely to get both CM Punk and Eddie Kingston on the show suddenly became one of the most interesting matches of the event, thanks to a red-hot promo exchange between the two last Friday on Rampage. Kingston blamed Punk for judging him during their days in ROH, to which the straight-edge superstar responded by calling him a bum who never could have lived up to the expectations set for him by him and the rest of the ROH stalwarts. Brawl ensued, intensity shown by the competitors created excitement for the showdown. The match itself should be damn good. Both Punk and Kingston have competed under the brightest lights and with lofty expectations. They have excelled under these circumstances before, and Saturday night should be no different. There's undoubtedly a portion of the fans who love Eddie Kingston and would be overjoyed and over the moon to see him win here. But that's not going to happen. CM Punk will pick up a grueling, hard-fought victory and move on to whatever it is AEW officials have in store for him next, while Kingston remains a gritty fan favorite. CM Punk wins. Next match.
Darby Allin goes one-on-one with MJF. I hate to do it. It's MJF. There's something about this that really just, look, if Darby wins, it's the biggest win of his career. No doubt about it. He will have a highlight reel moment. But have you ever seen MJF ever lose truly one-on-one matches? Other than the championship fight he had with Jon Moxley. And maybe you could even say the one with Chris Jericho, which was for his career on the line. But other than that, his win-loss record is absolutely one of the best in AEW today. And as much of a consummate heel that he is and a straight-up douchebag, some way, somehow, he's become one of the best guys in the company. Now, I think it's going to be a hard-fought match, so Darby won't lose any momentum. But at the end of the day, I just don't see him going over. So I hate to do this. Winner, Maxwell Jacob Freeman, MJF. Florio, it's yours.
What started with MJF declaring himself the greatest of the four young pillars of AEW escalated into an intensely personal rivalry in which Darby Allin saw his family history dragged through the mud and his body beaten and battered at the hands of the Pinnacle. Since then, Allin has been on a mission to unleash hell on the scarf-wearing heel. But MJF has consistently remained one step ahead of him, bailing out and avoiding the ass-kicking he has coming to him. There will be nowhere to run or hide Saturday night when the two clash in the finale of what has been one of the best rivalries in AEW this year. Allin is essentially bulletproof at this point, so over that losing doesn't hurt him. MJF, it can be argued, is less so. His character thrives on being able to bask in his accomplishments in the ring and brag about his many conquests. He should and will pull out the victory at Full Gear, and continue chasing a world title that will suddenly be within reach given the expected outcome of the night's main event. MJF wins. If Darby were to win, I would probably consider this the second biggest win of his career because he's already got that signature win. Then this event last year when he won the TNT Championship from Cody, that to me as of right now is his biggest win. This would be right up there though, absolutely. But I mean, there is a chance. But I don't know. So I reluctantly have to go with MJF, even though we all want to see Darby Allin pick up a huge win here. So not much more to say. Bullock, are we going to reluctantly make it unanimous?
Unfortunately, I'm going to have to reluctantly make it unanimous and go with MJF here. I agree with everything you said, even though I want to see that scumbag get the crap beat out of him by Darby Allin, but MJF wins, so let's move on.
Next up we have is one of the first title match of the evening that we're going to talk about. It is the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line. Penta El Zero Miedo and Rey Fénix, the Lucha Bros, they put the titles on the line against the AAA World Tag Team Champions, Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, FTR, Anthony Florio. It is all yours. Is FTR going to become double champions? Or will the Lucha Bros, Cero Miedo, rise up and successfully defend the titles?
The rivalry between FTR and the Lucha Bros intensified on the October 16 episode of Dynamite, when under mask initially, FTR defeated the Lucha Bros to capture the AAA Tag Team Championship at the behest of Andrade El Idolo. The rivalry has continued since, with Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler targeting their rivals' AEW tag titles. Saturday, the two teams meet in what should be a hell of a match between the best tag teams in the industry. Despite seemingly clashing styles, the teams worked well together the first time, and without the gimmickry of the Lucha mask and outfits on FTR, there is no reason to believe this will not eclipse that match. What will not happen, though, is a title change. The Lucha Bros are still in the infancy of a title reign, while FTR has quite a bit of mileage left on the old school wrestlers as Lucha champion shtick. Penta and Fénix win here and move on to face a healthy slate of challengers in what is one of the most gifted and stacked tag divisions in our sport. So, winners and still AEW World Tag Team Champions, Penta El Zero Miedo, and Rey Fénix. So not much more to say. Michael Bullock, your thoughts?
Yeah, I got to go with the Lucha Bros to retain the AEW World Tag Team titles. I mean, yeah, you guys pretty much said everything on it, so let's move on, Fletch.
Champions are going to remain the champions. No doubt about it in my mind. All right. I know a certain someone's going to have a lot of fun with this one. Minneapolis Street Fight, The Inner Circle, Chris Jericho, Jake Hager, Sammy Guevara, Santana, and Ortiz. They go up against the Men of the Year and the American Top Team. Men of the Year, of course, Ethan Scorpio Sky and Ethan Page. And 3 members of the American Top Team, Junior Dos Santos, Andre Orlovsky, and Dan Lambert. Michael Bullock, this is the one that you've been circling the fight in dark red since the announcement. You've been looking for a certain someone to get his butt whipped. Does it happen on Saturday night? Are you going to be a very happy man when this is all said and done? What's your prediction?
Yeah, this has been brewing for a while. Started by that piece of crap Dan Lambert, and then the Inner Circle basically exposed it and basically put Dan Lambert in there. And I'm telling you right now, I think the Inner Circle is going to win, and I think Dan Lambert's going to get the crap beat out of him big time, and he's going he's getting exactly what he deserves. I mean, nobody annoys the heck out of me more than this piece of crap known as Dan Lambert. I mean, and I'll even say this: he's more annoying than Don Callis, for God's sakes. I mean, this guy gets on my nerve every time when he has a mic, and part of me wants to yell at Tony Khan and say, "Can you take the mic out of this guy's hand?" Because every time he talks, it's almost like somebody yelling in my damn ear. So I think Jericho in the Inner Circle is going to take care of that and put this guy out of commission. So nothing more to say. Fletch, it is yours.
I kind of had a feeling that was going to happen, but there's no doubt in my mind. I would be shocked if American Top Team and Men of the Year wins this match. If they win this match, the ramifications is going to be massive, to say the very least. A lot of people will not be happy. And for me, I will say this. This will be a horrible, horrible situation, to say the very least. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to think. All I know is that I think, honestly, we're all hoping and praying that Inner Circle wins. But if they don't, the ramifications is going to be absolutely devastating. Imagine Dan Lambert on that next episode of Dynamite gloating over the fact that they just knocked out the Inner Circle. Oh my God. Michael Bullock, my heart would break for you, man, because at that point, what on earth is going to happen? There's really nothing more to add. There's nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
You got the Inner Circle winning, right?
Yeah, I got Inner Circle winning.
Okay. Inner Circle has been at war with Dan Lambert's American Top Team since just after All Out, and thus far the heels have gotten the better of their counterparts. Lambert and company helped Men of the Year defeat Jericho and Hager on the September 24 episode of Rampage before beating down the Inner Circle, including insulting body shots from Paige Van Zant and a running knee from Jorge Masvidal. ATT also beat down TNT champion Sammy Guevara in the weeks that followed, escalating the rivalry. Last Wednesday's episode of Dynamite saw the official announcement of the match between the two teams for Full Gear, 10-man Minneapolis street fight. And, you know, with the Inner Circle against Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, Junior Dos Santos, Andre Arlovsky, and Dan Lambert. Based on her involvement in the promo, it's very likely Paige Van Zant will be lurking somewhere. Classic blow-off match in which the babyfaces finally get one over on the heels. Lambert is that classic wrestling bad guy who talks a big game and insults everyone, but now it's time for him to catch an ass whooping, and he's going to, courtesy of Jericho and company. It'll be more entertaining than anything the program has produced to date, and the Inner Circle will be able to stand tall once more on an AEW pay-per-view in 2021. Inner Circle wins the match. Yes, Bullock, you're gonna have to get in line on that one if that so happens. But I think Mr. Lambert is gonna eat the pinfall, and I think Chris Jericho is gonna get the fall on Dan Lambert. I would not at all, or the tap out even.
Yeah, like I said in that chat, if not only the American Top Team wins, but if Dan Lambert gets the damn pinfall, watch out. I'm going to go on the biggest phenom rant ever. You're going to have to literally hold me back because I'm going to be impossible to contain if the impossible happens.
You got nothing to worry about, Bullock. I think we're going to be okay here. Considering the heels have been dominant in this, I think the Inner Circle, I got a hunch that the Inner Circle's due. So Inner Circle wins and Dan Lambert eats the fall, whether it's a pinfall or a tap out. So not much more to say. MF, let's move on.
All right. I'm gonna say, yeah. All right. Next up, guys, we have is Miro going one-on-one with Bryan Danielson. This is the match that the winner will receive a future AEW world title shot. I just don't see how Brian Danielson doesn't win this. I don't. I just don't. I mean, it looks like they were making this to be possibly the moment where we were going to have a winner. And going into the tournament, I think we all were thinking that this was probably going to be Moxley versus uh, Danielson. And now, when Moxley pulled out, Miro gets in, Miro's in the final. I think Danielson is going to win regardless. Winner, Brian Danielson. Florio, it's yours.
Yeah. At one point, like MF said, we were going to have Brian Danielson versus Jon Moxley in the final of this tournament. That undoubtedly would have kicked copious amounts of ass. But the latter recently entered an inpatient alcohol treatment program, doing the right thing by him and his family and putting that match on the back burner. Enter Miro, who exploded back onto the scene, obliterating Orange Cassidy to cash his ticket to Full Gear. The Redeemer spent the last month talking to his god, doing some soul searching after he lost the TNT Championship to Sammy Guevara. Now, back and dangerously focused, he is the perfect bulldozer of an opponent to put across the ring from Danielson. The American Dragon has wasted no time reminding fans of just who the best wrestler on the planet is, compiling classic after classic, including an incredibly physical war with Eddie Kingston that got him here. The match will be fantastic, especially considering the fact that Miro is better than he's ever been. Their styles should mesh well. The fans will be behind Danielson, and the result should be one of the best bouts on the show. Considering what most expect the outcome to be in the main event, it would make sense for Miro to win the match and set himself up as a challenger to the world title. But it feels too early on in Danielson's AEW run to sacrifice his undefeated run in singles action on what is essentially Plan B. So even though my gut is telling me to go with Miro based on the outcome of the main event, I got to go with Brian Danielson here. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say Brian Danielson wins, but if Miro were to somehow win this, I would not at all be surprised. I wouldn't. So either it doesn't matter who wins. They're both deserving of the opportunity. Wouldn't you agree, Michael Bullock?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, both of them do deserve a shot here, but I'm with you. I'm with you guys. I got to go with Brian Danielson to win, but it would literally not surprise me if Miro goes over here. So there's really nothing more to say. Let's move on, Fletch.
Co-main event of the evening, it is Dr. Britt Baker putting the AEW Women's title on the line against Ty Conti. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Ty Conti is one of the wrestlers released by WWE who arrived in AEW and instantly enjoyed more success than she ever did in her former place of employment. She also grew and evolved as a worker, developing into one of the most promising young wrestlers on the roster. On Saturday night, her winning ways will culminate in an AEW Women's World Championship match against Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, who has enjoyed one hell of a year herself. In a perfect world, Conti would have been built and hyped as someone capable of defeating Baker, but that just hasn't been the case. She has impressed with her in-ring exploits, sure, but there has not been enough put into her being a legitimate threat to the Good Doctor, leaving the outcome of this one not at all in question. Dr. Britt will retain here, likely because of outside interference from Rebel and or Jamie Hayter, and continue her run as the face of the women's division. Luckily for Conti, this feels very much like the first of many title opportunities to come. I would love to see Conti win, especially for UMF, because we all know how much you love her. But at the end of the day, I got to be realistic here, and I got to say the winner and still the AEW Women's World Champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Michael Bullock, Ty Conti will give her one hell of a try, but I think the Good Doctor will unfortunately go over, and I think Rebel and Hayter will be the difference.
Yeah, as much as I love seeing what Ty Conti has done, but this is an easy choice. It's Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, that's going to retain the AEW Women's World title. So, Fletch, it's yours.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I'm going to say I want Ty to win this so bad. I do. I just don't see it. Winner and still champion, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Main event, title on the line, the AEW World title, Kenny Omega versus the Hangman Adam Page. Michael Bullock, You lead off on the main event.
This is a match we've all been looking forward to since Hangman Page earned this opportunity. This is one that Hangman Page has been looking forward to for a long time, and it's all going to culminate. And this undoubtedly will be one of the greatest world title fights in a long time, based on the body of work of these two men. And Kenny Omega has had one hell of a run as the AEW World Champion, but it's time, boys. It's time for the crowning of a new champion. Winner and new AEW World Champion, Adam Hangman Page. He finally gets his crowning moment and becomes the top dog in AEW. But it's yours.
I totally agree with Michael Bullock here. I think history will be made, and I do believe that, yes, we will witness a new AEW World Champion, and I believe that it will be the man. It's history will be made. I'm gonna say it. Winner and new champion. I'm calling it. It will be the Hangman, Adam Page. I think he will finally realize his dream, and after months and months of us hoping and praying and everything else, I think we're gonna get the culmination. New champion, Hangman wins the belt. Florio, you have the last say.
A match 2 years in the making. Hangman Adam Page and Kenny Omega began their AEW journey as reluctant tag team partners who won gold and became an extraordinary team. Together, they defeated the Young Bucks in one of the greatest tag matches in modern wrestling history at the Revolution pay-per-view February 2020. Then dissension ensued. Page lost his confidence and went away. When he returned, he found an AEW ruled by a newly egotistical Kenny Omega and his elite cohorts. Building himself up to the top ranking in the company, it appeared he would have his shot to dethrone the best bout machine at All Out. But a high-stakes loss to the elite robbed him of that opportunity, even though it was because of personal reasons. That's why. Very important personal reasons, to say the very least. But the Hangman was not to be denied, though. And on the October 6th episode of Dynamite, he won the Casino Ladder match to earn a shot at the AEW World Heavyweight title. Saturday night, he battles Kenny Omega in a long-anticipated match. Omega has leaned heavily on Don Callis, the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, the Good Brothers, Michael Nakazawa, Brandon Cutler, and just about anyone else you could possibly think of to help him retain his title. It has worked, though, as he has beaten the likes of Jon Moxley, Christian Cage, Pac, and Orange Cassidy en route to a nearly year-long reign. However, that all comes crashing down Saturday night. AEW has spent the better part of 2 years positioning Hangman as the star of the future, from his first shot at the gold in August 2019 against Chris Jericho to providing him with the best character arc in the company since. His failures have made him stronger, and at Full Gear, he will buckshot lariat the hell out of Kenny Omega and finally win the AEW World title. The crowd will rejoice, and it will feel like the beginning and dawning of a new era in AEW. The belt collector, the best bout machine, his reign will end his reign. You know, it's the longest reign of any AEW World Champion today, even though there's only been 3. Kenny's reign, when we get to Full Gear, will stand at 346 days. It ends there. Winner and the new AEW World Heavyweight Champion, and deservedly so, the Hangman Adam Page. MF, take it home.
Tomorrow night, guys, is College Football Thursday. It's with much regret, I have to say that I will not be on the show tomorrow night due to work commitments beyond my control on Friday. However, I will be back on Friday for the Cerebral Smack Talk. We will talk
NFL Friday.
Actually, NFL Friday. I'll be back on NFL Friday. And then after that, Sunday is Cerebral Smack Talk, where we're going to be talking SmackDown, Dynamite, and we will recap the AEW Full Gear pay-per-view. And so, guys, that's it. So, for Anthony Floyo, for Michael Bullock, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the Tone channel, Tone 25 at 10:30 for another edition of College Football Thursday. Until then, have a good night, everybody. So long for now.